All right, so one of the most requested videos is how we run a sales team here at Pest Badger. First thing in the morning, the sales reps will wake up typically around, between 8 and 9:30. Typically, like some of them will go to the gym, some of them just relax for the morning. And then we typically start our morning meetings right at 10:30. One of the biggest things we did this year was we switched our morning meetings from 9:30 to 10:30. Last year we used to start our day at 9:30. We would go until 10:30 for our morning meeting, get on the doors by 11, knock from 11 to 3, and then we would take a lunch. But what we found was when the reps actually took a lunch, they kind of got stagnant after lunch, and it's one of the best times of the day to knock. So in order to capitalize on that, we switched our meetings from 9:30 to 10:30, and we actually our morning meetings go from 10:30 to 11:30. And then we get out there right at noon, and then we actually knock straight through the day until 9 p.m. What this does too is it also gives them more time in the morning to basically get ready for the day. So a lot of the reps like to wake up early, go to the gym. I know some of them wake up early. They like to golf. They like to just do stuff to get their day started. So what this does is it just gives them more time in the morning to basically enjoy themselves and get ready to lock in for the rest of the day. That's one of the biggest things that helps build team camaraderie, because although sales is an individual game, it's a big team effort, and everybody kind of thrives off of the momentum of everybody else. So it's super important that everybody hangs out outside of work so they can build camaraderie while they're at the morning meetings and while they're out there during the day. So we run Zoom meetings twice a week. We do them on Tuesdays and Fridays. That's just what fits best into our schedule. Yeah, we do a national sales call, so we get all the boys on the same call, boys and girls. We rip those at 9:30 Central Time. And basically we just do a 30 to 45 minute training on like the biggest things that the managers have seen over the week that reps may be struggling with. We like to share some wins on there as well. Same thing with the podcast. And basically what that does is it just allows everybody to also get to know each other on those Zoom meetings, because like when you're just hanging out with one team, obviously you're hanging out with the same guys over and over and over again. It's nice to put some faces to the names on those Zoom calls and also get some extra training in during the week. So we'll rip those at 9:30 and then they'll go right into the morning meeting at 10:30. Yeah, and it's super important too because every branch has different managers with different sales skills. So I think it's really good to get everybody on a call twice a week just to basically learn from everybody else, because it's a proven fact that nobody sells the same, really. Obviously we have the same bones to the pitch, but everybody's got their own little interesting gig that they do when they're selling. So it's super important to get everybody on there and kind of learn from everybody at once versus just learning from the same sales manager over and over and over again.
Everyone should know what their goal is and when they want to hit it by. My goal is 300K, 500K, but it's like realistically the numbers I'm throwing up aren't on track, and I'm not changing anything because I don't even really realize the full situation.
Maybe even record some pitches and look at it and be like, oh, that's when I use resolve ace close. Essentially, you can utilize that stuff for training after the doors, or even right after you leave the door, you can listen back to your recording and go change it for the next door.
You need a coach, a mentor, and a cheerleader, and then I do on Sundays a reflection of what I sold last week, what I need to sell next week, and what went well, what went wrong, that kind of thing.
Like I said, the morning meeting starts at 10:30. It's super important right off the rip to have a hype man at the meeting, so somebody that can get the boys fired up when they're walking in the door. Some of the locations we have reps that are staying in separate places, different apartments, stuff like that, so we typically meet at one central location at 10:30. Super important to get everybody fired up. And then from there, basically the first thing we do is we do claps. So we go over the numbers from the day before, and we do a certain number of claps for the number of sales that each rep got. And then from there, we set goals for the next day. So we have a whiteboard at every meeting. We set goals for the day as an individual basis, and then we set a goal for the day as a team. Typically, we break the numbers down in the beginning of the year. We set a goal for the team, so we like to cross that number off the board every day and write how much further that we got to the goal. From there, we segue into one training section. So essentially, the manager of the group will basically go through one training section on whether it's something that the reps struggled with the day before, whether it's an office announcement, whatever it is, the manager will do some short snippet on training. We're supposed to be consistently out there knocking from at the minimum of noon to, I would say 9 p.m., but I'd suffice with 8:30. That is the number one thing we struggle with, is like actually sticking to the schedule. Would you agree? So if you're gonna go out there from noon to 8, let's just say, right? There's 4 chunks. So you have noon to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8. Set a goal every time period. Let's just say your goal is $1,000 in every 2 hours, and you get $2,000 your first period. You start at 0 in your second period, so that you can consistently lock in and get fresh starts throughout the day. Like we're not like down and out, because I don't see a lot of bad attitudes here, right? But I don't see this in anybody. And then from there, we will typically go into pitch practice. So I like to partner everybody up and give people different partners every single day. And basically they go outside and they're each required to run through 2 pitches on a daily basis together. So typically we'll do a regular pitch, we'll do a switch over pitch, but from there we basically pitch practice.
Pest Badger.
Make sure you get all the cracks in the mulch beds, rock beds.
Yeah, we're gonna be working.
Once everybody's done pitch practicing, basically everybody has pre-assigned car groups for the day, just like their hoods are mapped out the day before by the managers. It's super important to get everybody, to have everybody know where they're going the day prior and who they're riding with. It's super important to have car groups, and you'll realize like over time as you do it that like some reps work better with others and some don't work so well together. So basically you have car groups in order to assign people to a car group, get them all to the same hood in the same general area. So a lot of times the car groups are when people have hoods right next to each other, we'll put them in the same car group together, so that everybody's not individually driving a hood, because one of the biggest things, like one of the hardest parts of the day is getting out of the car for the first time. So when everybody's riding together and everybody's getting hyped up for the day, that way it's a lot easier to get out of the car. I would say our average rookie should knock roughly 100 doors a day. Now we've had some rookies that'll do a lot more, we've had some rookies that'll do a lot less, but the biggest reason that I would say people knock less doors than your average rookie, which is 100, is because the better you get, the more people you're selling. The more conversations you're having, you're not getting kicked off the door as fast, you're diagnosing better buyers. So you're actually gonna knock less doors in a day, but you're gonna sell more. I know it kind of seems counterintuitive, but the better you get, the less doors you're gonna knock, because the better conversations you're gonna have, the more sales you're gonna get. The average rookie should shoot for anywhere from 1 to 3 sales a day. It's a proven fact that if you just go out there and put in the hours, you will get 1 sale a day, and it will be a lay-me-down. But the better you get, you know, our average rookies are averaging like 2 to 3 sales a day. And then once the years go on, like your second year reps, they're averaging typically anywhere from 3 to 5 a day. And then, you know, so on and so forth. So like your average rookie goes for 1 to 3. I would say a good vet is averaging probably 7 deals a day, roughly 4 to 5K in rev a day. Obviously, you know, I tell everybody this, like there's levels to the game. There's no doubt about that. You know, we have our best vets can go out there and rip 10 to 15 deals on a daily basis, and sometimes more than that. So there's definitely levels to the game, and the harder you work, the more time you put in on getting and refining those skills, the better off you're gonna be.
Hi. Hi. How's it going? Good. Just to give you a rundown, and then if it works for you guys, cool. If not, I'll kick rocks. So I do a base spray around the base of the house. So I go 3 feet up, 3 feet out into the mulch and rock beds around the house. This is where you're gonna get like Asian beetles, box elders in the fall time. Do you guys see a lot of those? Then I also do a treatment out in the yard for ticks, fleas, ants, and spiders. So I go 30 feet out from the perimeter of the house. I know you're getting sprayed for that stuff right now. This is just gonna seep into the soil, prevent them from pushing up towards the house. So it's like the base spray is like a secondary, just to make sure that they don't get in.
Because we have a camper, and every year
Yeah.
mice go in the walls,
Okay.
so I can hear them, but I
gotcha.
never see them. I don't know where they're coming in.
So just for your
And
knowledge,
I
just
think
because
they come from our garage. We'll get rid of them, and
Yeah.
then they'll come back.
Yeah, so if you don't do, so mice, obviously, like every winter, every spring, they're obviously super like active, you know what I mean? If you look at every corner of your garage, this is how they're getting in. So
Well, this one has
yeah, this one in specific, but that's from mice right there. That's them chewing the corner so that they can get in. We do actually, it's an all natural rodent repellent, okay? And basically what we do is we spray that around the perimeter with
the like spray that we do. And then if it was your camper, we could put it on that as well. I mean, there's literally no difference, but we basically include that in the service as well.
So it's $169, everything's included. We include the camper.
And then if something does pop up, like the well Smiths or whatever, basically we come out and take care of it.
Just need your permission to work on the property. You can draw a smiley face if you want to. I had a guy do that the other day.
So yeah, if you do need anything, just give us a call. Okay, happy to help. Thank you.
Callbacks are a very hot topic between different reps and different managers. Some managers really like callbacks, some managers really hate callbacks. I think one of the most important things to realize with a callback is diagnosing if they're a qualified buyer or not, because a lot of people get caught up in callbacks. They're going back to callbacks throughout the day and they're not getting any sales. The reason being is they're not diagnosing them properly. So I think callbacks are kind of a 50-50 move. I think if you can execute them at a high level, they're actually really, really beneficial to you. The biggest thing with callbacks to make sure that they're important callback is you've ran through all the smoke screens, right? And maybe there is a real objection that the customer is holding back. So it's super important to figure out the real objection, okay? And if you're not gonna close that deal on the door, make sure you create urgency behind the callback. So the whole reason we're out there is keeping up with the Joneses, right? We're gonna be taking care of a bunch of the neighbors. So I think it's super important to reiterate that we're gonna be out there the next day taking care of everybody, and make sure you reiterate that like you are going to message them and you are going to follow up with them.
So
right?
you have to get their phone number?
Yes, a lot of people will not, they'll get their phone number, but they'll just be like, oh yeah, I'll take your number right off the rip. I think it's super important to dive deeper than just like, yeah, I'll take your phone number and I'll text you. It's super important to basically get their phone number, reiterate that you will be following up with them, and there is urgency behind making a decision, right? And a lot of times at the end of those, you'll actually get, whether it's a yes or a no, you'll get a response from a customer. Because one of the biggest things people struggle with is they get callbacks, but then they don't get a response from the customer. It's because it wasn't a real callback.
And rookies struggle with the callbacks because they think every door they knock is a callback, especially when they're starting out.
And rookies will definitely have a hard time with callbacks at first because they believe everything the customer says. So they'll be taking a ton of numbers and they'll be going back to a lot of houses. They'll be texting a bunch of people, but really it was just a smoke screen to get them off the door, and they believed it. So again, going back to, it's super important to obviously diagnose your buyers and then diagnose your callbacks, whether it's a good callback or not, because I promise you not everybody's a good callback. But at the end of the day, everybody gets picked up, put in the same car group that they were in when they got dropped off. It's super important to get everybody back together, kind of recap the day, get some good vibes in the car, because some people may have struggled, some people maybe did really well. One of the biggest things that we've been doing recently is when everybody gets to the house, we've just been debriefing everybody's day. We all kind of gather in the living room and just kind of go over everybody's day, what worked well, what didn't work well. That way we're prepared for the next day. Working on holidays and weekends is one of the biggest levers that you can pull. So many people get caught up working 9 to 5 and then they take the weekends off. But realistically, in the door-to-door world, everybody's home on Saturday. Everybody's home on the holidays. They're the best days of the year to knock. Arguably, you can treat every Saturday like a holiday. If you're not getting out there at 9 a.m., again, we start our days later during the weekdays, but on the weekends, ideally, you start your day at 9 a.m. The best time on a Saturday to knock is between 9 and 2. So everybody's home, everybody's getting ready for the day, everybody's super happy because it is the weekend, they're off their normal job, they got nothing but time. So super important to work holidays and weekends. Also, one of the biggest levers you can pull is not only working holidays and weekends, but also creating competition within the group. Again, healthy competition within the group. We like to run competitions. We'll do daily competitions, we'll do weekly competitions, we'll do monthly competitions throughout the entire summer. We'll do competitions within competitions because as competitions go on throughout the entire month, typically we'll run one giant competition for everybody during the month, but we also run daily competitions like Throwdown Thursdays. Everybody picks a person. And it's super important to create the healthy competition within the group because it drives everybody. And it's also been a proven fact, when we run competitions, our numbers drastically increase because of the competitive atmosphere, right? So everybody's trying that much harder, everybody's working, putting in the hours every single day, everybody's working weekends, and when there's no competitions going on, that can kind of fall off the face of the earth. But it's super, super important to just have continuous competitions running on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It will motivate the reps tenfold. And that is a day in the life running a door knocking team at Pest Badger. Thanks for watching.